start talking about karma and diseases, I want to tell you all this is being recorded and this will be put on YouTube. So, of course, your faces are not visible until and unless you speak. So, don't worry about it. But with your permission, I will now begin. And because I have all of your permissions for posting this on YouTube. Yes, yeah, thumbs up. Yes, thank you. Okay, so welcome to our Thursday knowledge session. First, I would like to thank our guru because any guru for that matter will always help us learn more things what we need at the right time. And so, of course, I've started doing this after a very, not after a very, very long time, but because of the permission that I received only now. So maybe I have gathered enough that I can start distributing. So thanks to all the knowledge that I'm gaining because of the good Jupiter. And now let's start. Okay, so karma and diseases. Now we always hear karma, karma, karma. Na? Whatever you do, you shall get back. If you do good, you're getting good back. If you're doing bad, you're getting bad. Isn't it? That's all that we learn about karma. Of course, karma has a lot of aspects to it. Okay, karma itself is divided into so many parts. Na? But the most important thing is that some karmas you can change, some karmas you cannot change. Some karmas which you cannot change. What is the problem with it? It is going to come into your next life, into your next life, into your next life until you finally change it. See? So, what does that mean? It means that maybe it is possible that each and every karma can be changed into a more positive aspect. Okay, so people who are saying that no, you can't change your karmas, halfway we're right, but every bigger karma is given to us only and only because we have to learn the lesson and we have to set it right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I stuck? Am I stuck? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't see anybody. Tell me. Can you hear me? Somebody unmute and tell me. Yes, now I can see.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, great. Now I
I
can
just
see.
have a question.
Hmm.
So sometimes you cannot skip a karma. You're given a certain amount of time, and then, it automatically breaks off because you paid it the right way. So in that case also, can you change?
Yes. So if it is breaking off, that means we have learned a lesson.
That's true.
Karma is only about learning that valuable lesson. In a particular life, you did not learn that lesson, and that is why you created negative karma. Otherwise, we are trying to create positive karma and we are getting good results. But only a negative karma will stick with you for so long. And it will keep showing up in each and every lifetime until you learn the lesson. Okay? So, it is possible. I'm not saying that it is applicable to each and every person, but I am saying that it is possible that diseases, especially chronic diseases, are something of a reminder for us to learn that lesson accurately. Okay, so what is or what are karmic diseases? So like we have, normal diseases, like for example, if we catch a viral, it's due to the external factors like the cold or some virus, some bacteria and all of this. But when we talk about karmic diseases are specially happening because of internal factors. So what do you mean by internal factors? Some emotional, some mental remains from the past lives, from all the past lives that we have lived. And in those lifetimes, and whatever lifetimes we have lived, that we have not solved it. If we have not understood our life lesson, if we have not understood what we need to change, these diseases will keep repeating themselves. Okay. So if I ask you what do you mean by chronic diseases? What do you mean by chronic diseases? Can anybody tell me? Chronic diseases.
Long standing for years and years together.
For years and years together. Okay. So here it is like lifetimes and lifetimes. Okay. Of course, the severity of it varies from one life to other, depending on how good you have learned. Yes. Okay. So now I will read out one sentence. Not a sentence, a small phrase, and you tell me what and how much do you understand. Okay. Very beautiful one. So I want to give it to you all as it is. Negative or low vibration karmic diseases are very bad for our evolution, as we are spiritual beings. All of us are spiritual beings. Some are aware of it and some are not. So negative or lower vibration karmic diseases are very bad for our evolution as spiritual beings. And in one way, they show us that we are not getting enough divine light as we should. Everybody's like, whoa, okay, yes, of course. Yeah. So it's like that, isn't it? And that my father and mother used to always tell me, wake up a little early, wake up a little early. I used to wake up at 11 and 12 in the afternoon. Always, always. I used to not go to college and just bunk. And of course, in school, we are all healthy. And if we used to get any kind of diseases, we used to just be back on track in like 2 days. Right? Because we used to wake up on time, get enough sunlight. Okay? Source of divine light, isn't it? Sunlight is also a source of divine. And we used to do that. And then because our sun used to be strong, our sun planet used to be strong because, we are saying hi, hello, and we are greeting the sun also. Then we used to recover very nicely. Now you see, night shift started. What happened after that? People started waking up at 4 and 5 and 12 and what? Now, do they get sunlight? No. They are void of some divine light. I'm just giving you one example. Okay, this is not just one divine light. There are so many sources of white light or divine light, as we know. So, very simple example, isn't it? Okay. Now, the next thing. All of these diseases, they develop in conjunction and interaction with another human factor. These diseases, they develop in conjunction and interaction with another human factor. What does it mean? It means that it was necessary for another person to participate in the action for the karmic disease to develop. Do you understand? So, of course, it is internal, but there will be a participation of some person in your life who will show up in your life who will have certain kind of impact in your life, that these karmic diseases will start originating or start from that point onwards. Yeah, all good? Are we on the same page? At least give me a thumbs up so I know. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Priyanka.
नहीं आया तो मेरे को पता नहीं लग रहा सबके ऊपर से क्यों जा रहा है लास्ट लाइन थोड़ा
चलो ठीक है, लास्ट लाइन में
मतलब मेरे को ब्रीफ में बता दो
चलो,
द पर्सन हु शो ऑफ द लाइट वो
person will not show up the light.
बस
चलो सुनाते हो. Shubi, what is your question? Say. Unmute करो Shubi. Unmute.
I wanted to ask whether when we are talking about the chakra imbalance, so do we consider it as a chronic disease also?
Chronic disease is something that is life threatening, has been there for a very, very long time. It is
Yeah.
incurable.
Okay. So
Like pre-diabetic.
जैसे when we say ना कि when we are doing any healing practice, so we are correcting ourselves. तो अगर किसी और का participation है, so do you think that we can low down the intensity with it? क्योंकि दूसरा इंसान नहीं सुधर रहा है, आप बिल्कुल सुधार पे हो, तो फिर वो हील होगा कैसे?
करते हैं बात थोड़ा थोड़ा.
Okay. Sure.
चलो ठीक. So now the last sentence मैं थोड़ा brief दे रही हूँ इसके बारे में. I'll just switch to a little bit of Hindi. तो सबसे पहला वाला चीज क्या था कि नेगेटिव या कार्मिक लोअर वाइब्रेशनल एनर्जीज या कार्मिक डिसीजेस जो भी होता है वो हमारे स्पिरिचुअल डेवलपमेंट में हमको आगे नहीं बढ़ने देता. हमारा स्पिरिचुअल डेवलपमेंट एकदम बंद हो जाता है. आनंद सर म्यूट कीजिए आप, है ना. और ये क्यों होता है? बिकॉज हमको डिवाइन लाइट नहीं मिलती. सही डिवाइन लाइट जितनी हमको मिलनी चाहिए, जितनी एक नॉर्मल इंसान के लिए लिखी हुई होती है, वो बिल्कुल भी हमको नहीं मिलती है ना. बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल द थिंग्स दैट वी चूज, मे बी इट इज पॉसिबल. ठीक है. लास्ट लाइन ये था कि कार्मिक डिसीजेस होने के लिए भी हमारे लाइफ में कोई ना कोई ऐसा पर्सन आता है, जैसे उस पर्सन के एंट्री से हमारे लाइफ में या उस पर्सन के हमारे लाइफ में होने के वजह से हमें वो डिसीज होता है. सो think of all the people who have a lot of hereditary issues, right? तो हेरिडेटरी मतलब क्या? ये हमारे लाइफ हमको उनके वजह से लाइफ मिली है. वी हैव गॉट आवर लाइफ बिकॉज ऑफ देम. नाउ दिस इज द की फैक्टर. So maybe we are just carrying forward their diseases. We're just carrying forward their karmic diseases, or it is possible that we have lived in that body at one particular time. I had lived in that body. I didn't get that lesson. And suppose some hereditary diseases skip a line. Do you know this? कि for example grandfather को था, father को नहीं हुआ, बेटे को हो गया, है ना. So maybe it is possible कि this boy has lived in his grandfather's body and didn't learn a lesson, came in the grandchild's body now. And now this person is suffering. So every chronic disease, even a very major skin issue, you know, a lot of people have psoriasis या फिर leprosy, ये सारी चीजें भी कार्मिक डिसीजेस में आती है. ठीक है, क्लियर है? Are we on the same page अब तक? Everybody understood? Okay. Very short discussion I'm going to have because this is too deep. Yeah, Jan.
You take away somebody's light, that they don't get enough light that they're supposed to get in one particular lifetime to heal their past wounds or whatever they're doing, is proper guidance, in terms of proper guidance or proper people who can guide them on the right path.
It is more about, of course, they need the guidance to know what is the lesson that they need to learn. Okay, for example, I'll tell you about the first disease that I'll be discussing today, and then maybe you'll understand with that example. Okay, if you don't understand, we'll take up the question. Okay, is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So now think of cardiac. Cardiac मतलब क्या? Heart. है ना? Heart related diseases. Now, what is the karma associated with heart related diseases? Especially now, our parents, not their parents, okay? Think from our parents' life. That is where most of the heart diseases have originated. Before that, our grandparents get time pay. It was like very few cases. But think of all the timeline from our parents, है ना? Or most of them have cardiac issues, heart issues, है ना? ठीक है? Do you all agree? So what is the reason? First is excessive guilt. Okay? Guilt, trauma, suffering, abuse, fraud, or betrayal. This is the reason for cardiac issues. Okay? Second thing, other than guilt, it is also to do something with abuse of power, creating hate energy in a mass. What does that mean? For example, if I say today, you know what, I don't like this one person, all of you also will not like that person. Okay, is that a deal? And everybody's like, ha ha ha. Okay, without question, everybody is just listening to me. I created what? I created so much hate energy. I blocked my heart chakra. I blocked each and every person's heart chakra. And that is why in the next life, my heart is weak. I am suffering with heart diseases. I have so many cardiac issues. There is a hole in, kids are born with hole in their heart, right? And then you see these kids especially will give you so much love. They have so much love. Even as adults, if people grow up and then later on there is a hole in their heart, you see suddenly their life is changed and they're giving immense love, and you feel that, poor thing, why him? Because in the past life, this is what they did, and the result is this disease. So now, two reasons I gave you, right? One is creating immense hate energy, and the first one is guilt, trauma, abuse, right? So, what do you think is the life lesson that this person needs to learn in this life so that they break this pattern and in the next life they do not have this disease? What is the life lesson? Sneha, आप बताओ.
वो सबसे बढ़िया अच्छी बात ये कि ये जो हार्ट हार्ट होल वाली बात बोली है, ये है मेरे को बचपन से है ये। आई एम सफरिंग फ्रॉम दिस। और मुझे लगता है कि ये जैसे बोला कि लाइफ भी चेंज हो जाती है, वो बहुत सी चीजें देने लगते हैं जो चीज उनकी लाइफ में नहीं थी पास्ट में। सो ये चेंजेस में ये आएगा कि मतलब ये जो फीलिंग्स जो इसके पॉइंट्स आपके बताए हैं, वो पॉइंट्स अभी मेरे में नहीं है, मेरे नेचर में अभी नहीं है ये। तो हो सकता है कि ये पॉइंट्स जो हैं कट हो रहे हैं, कर्मास के जो थे ला पास्ट के, वो कट हो रहे हैं, अब यहाँ पे कट हो गया। तो
ये पास्ट में
पास्ट
थे, इसीलिए अभी के लाइफ में
ये
उसका इफेक्ट ऐसा होता है.
हाँ, तो ये मतलब आने वाले फ्यूचर उसमें वो जाएगी नहीं, फॉरवर्ड नहीं होगा, इसी में कट हो जाएगा।
बट इसका
पर
लाइफ
जो
लेसन क्या है?
लाइफ लेसन ये है कि जो जिन चीजों से ये चीजें हुई थी उनसे दूर ही रहना है और उनको ज्यादा एंटरटेन नहीं करना है उन पॉइंट्स को, उन चीजों को अपनी लाइफ में।
Yes.
जितना ज्यादा उन सब चीजों से दूर रह सके वो बेटर है, बेस्ट। जब पता
Let's-
है कि हमको ये इस कारण हुआ है तो हमको उनसे दूर रहना चाहिए।
हाँ, तो अभी फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी आप यहाँ पे बैठे हो, आपने समझ लिया कि ये है, ठीक है, मैं समझ गई, बट एज ए नॉर्मल पर्सन ये तो नहीं समझेंगे, इनको पता ही नहीं है इस कॉन्सेप्ट के बारे में। ये लोग क्या करेंगे कि ठीक है, मुझे ये बंदा पसंद नहीं है, मैं अपना तो सबको भड़काऊंगा भाई, आई विल मेक श्योर दैट एज आई हेट आई विल
ये
स्प्रेड।
समझना पड़ेगा ना कि उसके कर्मास है, वो जो सोच रहा है वो उसके ऊपर आएगा, वो मेरे ऊपर, मुझे उसको लेट गो करना है या इग्नोर करना है या फॉरगिव करना है।
Okay.
मुझे अपने
Now you're just
टाइम नहीं
talking
देना।
from this perspective. Think if a person has a lot of guilt, abuse, trauma, जो भी, so if it goes unacknowledged. So for example, there is a child abuse scenario. In this case, if they do not seek inner child healing, if they do not seek any kind of help, and they leave it bottled up in their heart, this is going to be carried. Even that is going to be carried. Okay. So when you know that there is a disease, so especially all the healers here, when you know that there is a chronic disease prevailing in your client, this is also one concept that we should be addressing. That is the reason why most of the healings, most of the healers will say, do you practice forgiveness and gratitude? Understanding? Okay? Clear? Now, so this is a very active kind of a karmic issue, and the disease is cardiac. Now, there are some passive things also which give you karmic diseases. You know, people are born blind there. Some people are just born blind. And some people, after a certain age, they keep losing their eyesight. People have myopia, right? All of these eye conditions. You know what is the reason behind it? This is a passive karma. What is this passive karma? That they were aware that there is an unjust situation. They're seeing someone suffering and they never helped that person. They were seeing injustice happening and they didn't take a step to stop it. Next slide. Eyes are like no light. You will only experience, you can't see. Understand? Okay, yes, Neha?
और अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन में आपके पास सिचुएशन ही नहीं है, सब जानते हुए भी कि आप उसकी हेल्प नहीं कर पा रहे हो, तो वो तब क्या करेंगे? तब तो फिर कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते है ना।
कुछ एक स्टेप तो उठा के देखना ही पड़ता है ना।
सामने वाला भी तो उस चीज को वो करे ना। अगर आपका क्लाइंट ही उस चीज को, क्लाइंट है या जो भी रिलेटिव है व्हाटएवर, वो उस चीज को समझना ही नहीं चाह रहा है, आप उसको सही चीज बताना चाह रहे हो, तो फिर अपन को छोड़ देना चाहिए ना।
Everybody has to be given at least one try. At least one try. This is the thing. Please try to change it. If they're like, नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है and all that. Try it one more time. नहीं, so then leave it. Yes, because there are people who are non-accepting. You can't do much for them. Okay? And the third disease that I will be discussing today. Any questions before this? Okay. And the third question, yes, Janet?
So basically, robbing that light, less light, is somewhere imperfection. You're born with certain imperfections.
Sometimes.
Or sometimes you might carry forward a disease because of pent up of certain energies that you've done mistakes in the past.
Yeah.
So you're not complete.
You're not complete, yes. Sometimes, in some scenarios, that is the case. Some scenarios, it is just like a disability, or they are extremely aggressive, or they get into criminal activities. All of these things also happen because the brain doesn't develop according to them.
Okay.
The third disease for today is kidney. Okay, the kidney disease. Now, of course, I want to talk about this because I know when I was 15 years old, one of my cousins, she was 11 or she was 12 years old. Okay, she was 12 years old, and this child got a kidney failure. Since that time, she has been put on dialysis and whatnot, and poor child had to go through all of that. And the worst thing is, they did not even have the financial condition. So this poor girl, she used to go all the way traveling for 2 hours in a bus by herself, 11-year-old, by herself, because both the father and the mother used to work. Of course, they have to provide for her medications, right? And they used to go, and she used to go by herself and get the dialysis done and whatnot. Now, and then that time she used to tell me that there are at least 10 people here. So this I'm talking about when she was 11. When I was 15, that means around 18 years ago. Okay, 18 years. That time the situation was there used to be around 10 to 12 patients in a ward. Yeah? Or let's say maximum 20. Now there are not enough beds in the hospital. The hospitals are rejecting because we have too many people on dialysis. We cannot accept you. So many hospitals, especially in Pune, I've seen so many dialysis center coming up in each and every gully and whatnot. Yeah. So what is this? What is the karmic disease behind this? Kidney diseases will happen when you abuse your own children. That's the major reason. When you abuse your own children, when you torture your own children, when the parents are extremely violent with their children, kidney diseases start happening. Second thing is, even in the early days, there used to be house helps, right? Like so many people used to have house help. But they were so torturous. These people used to treat them as slaves. So, for example, in school, we used to be like, ma'am, I need to go to the toilet. And then the teacher used to be like, okay, wait, let that person come and then you go. Yeah, they used to send us in like one after the other and all that. Now, these people, they harassed their maids and house helps and all the people, all the helpers, that they did not even let them use the toilets. They did not let them use the toilets, and that is why their kidneys have been affected. Kidneys, same. What happens in kidney diseases? Your urine completely stops. Just imagine. Okay? And of course, alcohol abuse, so many things. People drink a lot, and also the karma associated with the kidney disease is that they ill-treated Brahmins, yeah, the sages, and they also ill-treated their teachers, verbally, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever you call it. So these are the karmic diseases. Now you know what they need to stop doing, right? So as I've recently learned to analyze the Kundalini, a little bit of astrology that I learned from Priyanka. I've come to know, I'm seeing a pattern that people who come with kidney issues, especially, the Jupiter is really bad. And the Jupiter is really bad for this particular reason because they ill treated their gurus in the past. Their Mercury seems to be bad at times because, again, children. Okay, for many people who have the kidney issues, what is the one thing that they can do is think of how they can contribute towards gurus, organization where the teachers should be helped, or at least in the orphanage. That's it. Simple. There are many karmic diseases like that. Many karmic diseases. And as healers, the more you know about this, I think the more people you can help. So yes, research a little more about it and become aware of this, because everything comes at the right time. And if you have come about this knowledge now, maybe it's time, and maybe there are going to be people associated with you who will have such diseases, such extreme chronic diseases, where they will some help. And you can be that guide to give them the enough divine light. Okay? Yes, Shubhi.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सो सोनू आई एम रियली अमेज्ड जो पॉइंटर्स आप नॉलेज सेशंस में देते हैं लाइक दे आर सो डीप वो लगता नहीं है कि व्हेन यू लाइक हेयर द टॉपिक तो लगता है कि इजी होगा बट वंस यू डाइव देम इतना ज्यादा उसमें डीपनेस आती है कि इट रियली गिव्स यू सम रियल थॉट्स की वो किया जाए एंड यू वोंट बिलीव आई वाज लाइक about to ask you on the same pointer. I made a Insta reel on the same thing of having the patterns like emotional patterns or physical patterns. So what is happening is there is someone in the family every now and then they have a cycle of having issues especially related to vomiting and loose motions. So unka pure saal mein if you ask them na so every now and then they will have only this issue. So how to like heal them or how do we address this particular because उनको और कुछ नहीं आता सर्दी जुकाम बुखार but whenever you ask them that is the only thing they'll face. तो हम इसको कैसे कंसीडर करते हैं how do we deal with this?
थोड़ा सा रिसर्च करना पड़ेगा शुभी, थोड़ा सा कि अभी देखो वॉमिटिंग या मोशंस इसको कंसिडर करो तो स्टमक के साथ एसोसिएटेड होगा, तो ऑब्वियसली फूड के साथ एसोसिएटेड होगा, तो इसका थोड़ा एसोसिएशंस ढूंढिए कि क्या इसका कर्म हो सकता है ना, and then accordingly you will know कि okay, if you read a lot of other things also, like how the planets are also associated with diseases, you will come to know a lot of things. Thanks to Priyanka, I searched about it and yes.
You are planning some sessions on this or someone in the group who's planning?
I want to plan it.
Okay.
But it will be a long course, that is for sure. It will at least take
Your
study.
lineage of something like this. And like it's very scary because I have seen the pattern. Just you talked about like grandfather had this heart disease, father didn't had, then now brother had it. So we were like really worried कि उसको कैसे आया. But obviously now we can reconnect कि कुछ तो होगा. People have
Definitely.
kidney issues. So,
See, I want to conduct a course on this, but I want to figure out what kind of remedies we can give. Because I don't want to give like a knowledge that this is the reason that this is happening and not provide a solution. If we want to be that guiding force, then we have to show them the proper result. So,
अगर आप रेमेडीज डालेंगे ना सोनू तो बेसिक उसकी भी डालिएगा जैसे देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल जो कितने रेमेडीज करते हैं बट जैसे कफ एंड कोल्ड ऑल्दो इट्स नॉट क्रॉनिक पर वो उससे परेशान ही रहते हैं देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल जो स्नीज करना शुरू करते हैं तो रुकते ही नहीं है सो लाइक स्मॉल थिंग्स बट ये पैटर्न तो है कहीं ना कहीं कुछ फिजिकल इमोशनल या कुछ reconnecting patterns हैं, so आप करोगे तो do consider this. This
बिल्कुल.
I'll do. This looks interesting and very deep.
Yes, yes, definitely. I'll go for it. Yes. Just 1 second. Before I take another question, that is all from my side. I'll be just answering the questions now. So if anybody has to leave, they can leave. Thank you so much for joining the session. And I will see you next Thursday. I'm not disclosing the topic today because it will be another amazing topic. But yeah. So I'll see you next Thursday. Thank you so much for joining. Yes. Yes, Anamita. Hello.
या आपने जो किडनी और हार्ट का बोला, ये दोनों प्रॉब्लम मेरे ससुर जी को है और एग्जैक्टली उनका बिहेवियर वही है. मतलब ही यूज टू ट्रीट मतलब स्लेव्स, मतलब वो उनका वो एटीट्यूड है, पूरा वही एटीट्यूड है. इवन डजंट टॉक प्रॉपर्ली विद दोस पीपल. ये वो छोटे जाते हैं, छोटे लोग हैं, ही डजंट टॉक, पानी भी नहीं देते कभी, मतलब वो टाइप्स का है. और हार्ट का भी वही है, इफ ही लाइक्स ए पर्सन, वो आपको फोर्स करेंगे सारा परिवार उसको लाइक करो. इफ ही डजंट लाइक, आप बात भी नहीं कर सकते. वो पूरा मतलब इट्स कम्प्लीटली. और मेरे हस्बैंड का भी वही नेचर आ गया है, इज दैट. तो हस्बैंड का भी थोड़ा बहुत हमेशा कोलेस्ट्रॉल हाई रहता है. डॉक्टर ने बोल दिया है कि थोड़ा हार्ट का केयर लीजिए, मतलब. और ससुर जी के भी स्टेंट है, तो अब मुझे समझ में आ गया. लेकिन मेरे में उल्टा नेचर है, मतलब मैं इतना फ्लेक्सिबल हूँ जो भी. तो शायद इसीलिए ये उम्र, मतलब मे भी मेरे को कोलेस्ट्रॉल या हार्ट का कुछ भी मतलब दिखाता कभी नहीं है. तो लोग भी बोलते हैं कि जो भी हो, मतलब वो हो, मतलब है कि ये. तो और मेरे लेकिन फैमिली हिस्ट्री में मदर के साइड से, नाना जी के साइड से क्रोनिक अस्थमा है.
Okay.
तो
Yes.
उसका
A very big thing also. It has
और
a very
हमेशा कोल्ड रहता है, लंग्स के प्रॉब्लम में हमेशा कोल्ड रहता है. तो उसका रीजन
one thing जो बहुत कॉमन है, मतलब कॉमन नहीं, बहुत सीवियर है इनफैक्ट. इसीलिए कोविड इतना टाइम चला, इसीलिए कोविड ने इतनी सारी जाने ली.
ओके. उसका रीजन मतलब अस्थमा के लिए कुछ.
उसका रीजन थोड़ा रिसर्च करना.
ओके.
है ना.
क्योंकि मुझे भी है, लेकिन
हम्म.
लकीली मतलब मेरे जो सब लोग इनहेलर और पंप लेते हैं मेरे फैमिली में, मतलब मैटरनल साइड में. मेरा अभी तक लकी ये नहीं हुआ, इनहेलर नहीं लगा. धीरे धीरे आई एम रिकवरिंग. मतलब 20s में बहुत होता था, अभी कम, मतलब टचवुड बोलना नहीं चाहिए, अभी कम धीरे धीरे हो रहा है. तो
Good.
वो है, तो वही जानना था. ठीक है, फिर नेक्स्ट
कोई
कभी
नहीं.
और.
हाँ, हम अपने हीलिंग में उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना शुरू कर.
हाँ, क्योंकि
यस भावना.
ने एक चीज कही थी, जो किडनी डिसीज होती है वो मतलब जब हम बच्चों का हार्म करते हैं उससे
हम्म.
तो ऐसा भी कभी होता है कि एक पर्सन
कट गया आवाज.
क्या
कट गया आवाज. एक पर्सन क्या.
सपोज 2 पार्टनर्स हैं, ठीक है, हार्म कोई डिसीज सेकंड में आ रही है.
हाँ, ऐसे भी होता है.
ओके.
ये वाले केस में होता है, जैसे हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ का होता है, वो होता है.
तो क्यों, मतलब जिस क्या है वो तो उसी पर
because we choose, because we are not stopping it, because we didn't stop it ना. जब मुझे पता है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ठीक है, कि ऐसा सब है, या फिर मेरा हस्बैंड अग्रेसिव है या मेरी वाइफ अग्रेसिव है टुवर्ड्स द चिल्ड्रन या सब कुछ, बट आई डोंट स्टॉप इट. I'm like whatever, हाँ ठीक है, वो उसका तरीका है, संभालने दे उसको.
ओके. तब ये वो वाली बात हो गई कि
दोनों के बीच में बराबर आए.
हाँ वो गलत देख रहे हो तो वो भी उस कैटेगरी में माना जाएगा इफ यू आर नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग.
That's it.
और अगर एक पर्सन उसको रोक रहा है देन ऑल्सो डिसीज आ रही है तो
देन ऑल्सो अगर वो डिसीज आ रही है तो उसका फिर पैटर्न देखना पड़ेगा. फिर मे बी देयर इज समथिंग एल्स विद दिस पर्सन.
एंड यू सेड
देखो, ऐसा नहीं है ना कि ये लाइफ में आ रही है तो मतलब ये लाइफ का इमीडिएट इफेक्ट तो नहीं दिखता है. ये पास्ट लाइफ से आता है, तो मे बी पास्ट लाइफ में उन्होंने किया होगा तभी इस लाइफ में है. बिकॉज किडनी डिसीज ऐसा है कि वो कुछ ये नहीं है, it's not like contagious कि एक को है partner को आएगा, ऐसा नहीं है. But it is common because aggression, ill treatment.
तो इसके लिए donations can be a good remedy.
Yes. In fact. Yes, Janet? Sure.
I just have a question a little outside the topic. Do you think when you overdo a ritual, do you think you can have a lot of energy pent up, which can lead to a disease
It can, yes. It can cause cancers.
when you do too many rituals?
Yes, overdoing it. For, harming someone especially, yes.
I forgot another question. Okay, I can't remember the question right now.
Yes, Veera? Fine.
So no, the remedies for karmic disease can it be generalized?
It can't be generalized.
It will differ from person to person.
It will differ from person to person because some people have a lot of hereditary issues and some people develop something over time. Like in my cousin's case, she developed it. It wasn't hereditary.
Okay. So how is she like?
Yeah, she's fine. She had a transplant and she's married. She's happily married and she's living a very happy, good, fulfilled life.
So because she has endured the pain and this thing, the karma has been gone out, is what the sense.
Yes. Many times that is also the reason because we try to, let go of it. Like, no. That's it. Let's stop it. Let's stop this pain. And I don't want to bear it. I don't want to bear it also. Some things you need to bear. That moment has to pass. That is where you learn your lessons. Because of this, because of the whole thing, she became very sympathetic towards children. Otherwise, she was very rude to children also. And because she used to see people there, who were kids and they used to go through that. So she always liked children. I'm not saying that. But it internalized
Attitude changed.
to that, yeah.
Okay. So there are only psychological remedies or physical healing remedies are also there.
Haven't figured it out yet. It's still searching, still researching.
Okay.
This is what I figured out till now.
Okay.
Because it's a vast subject and going into the
Yeah.
past is not that easy.
Huh.
So I take my sweet time to research about it. I've been reading quite a few books.
This itself was a big data. This is
Yeah,
not easy to get it.
this book came newly, so that's something that I'm reading now. And that has many things. So
Okay.
and whenever you read into karma, especially, then it is a big thing. Like it takes a lot.
Nobody knows it all.
Nobody knows it all. Yes, and there are variations in all the scriptures.
Everyone has their own sequence.
Yes. Yes, Janet?
The other question was that, sometimes through the astrology chart, we tend to give them certain remedies to pacify the planet, the effect of the planet. But if you continue doing the same mistakes, do you think you can really negate that thing,
You can't.
that effect?
Absolutely not. So that is why these dashas will be there, showing us that okay, if you're doing this right now, things can change in seconds. That is why we have 4 dashas in a day.
What is a dasha in English? Just that much. Direction.
No. It's like we have 4 what is it called? The zones, like the time thing, na? Like it is divided into morning, early morning and this and that. So every single time it changes into 4 different things.
So
So
basically,
it comes into a particular zone that is a little deeper.
so it gives you a reverse effect. Even if you've done things intentionally, like you're suffering because of something, and you're just pacifying it, but again the intention went wrong. You're just doing it for the heck of it.
Yeah.
There is no repentance, you see.
Yes,
So again, it relaxes.
they'll come up. They'll come up again.
It's
It does
possible.
happen. That is why a lot of people say, that yeah, it worked on nicely for 6 months. After that, everything changed. Why? Because the minute things started subsiding, you were like back on your ego track. So then nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I will see you next Thursday. Bye bye. Take care.